Okay, now let me introduce Yayuan community living environment. Yayuan community is located in the south of Nanchang District, Dongguan City, Guangdong Province in southern China. It's about 3 kilometers away from the city center of Dongguan. It's right next to the district center. The total area of the community is about 1.8 square kilometers. The registered population is 1,496, and the living population is about 30,000. There are about 200 enterprises and self-employed in the area. The community mainly relies on renting office buildings and factories to obtain a collective income of about 13 million yuan. Yayuan community is crossed by South Huancheng Road, which is fast road of the city. The area north of Huancheng South Road was rebuilt about 2,000 years and integrated into the urban development, including new residential quarters, parks, industrial parks, supermarkets, primary school, hospitals, and bus station. You can walk 1.2 kilometers to the subway station. The community is surrounded by new house, school, and parks. To the south of Huancheng South Road is the old villages of Yayuan community. The development history of the old villages has been 300 years, and it was developed by 3 families with different surnames. They were immigrants from the north in ancient times and belonged to the Hawker people. The villagers spontaneously rebuilt the house on the original site. The east side of Yayuan community is close to Guangchang Road. The west side is close to Huancheng South Road. Huancheng South Road and passes through the middle of the community. The north side is close to the subway. There are many secondary urban roads passing through the community. The transportation system is very developed. However, under such a development under urban systems, there is an old villages that cannot keep up with the development of the times. Such villages are generally developed by blood, and people have living here for generations. People are familiar with each other, even relative, and have a certain exclusivity to the outside world. Today, I mainly introduce all villages and industrial areas, and I compare them with other areas. The new residential areas belongs to the real estate developer, but the Yayuan community has the right to manage it. We have seen residential areas like this, where each plot is enclosed by walls. Only those who have ownership can enter. The buildings are high, and the blocks are divided by straight road. The road mainly considers the walking of motor vehicles and has 4 lanes. The sidewalk is close to the wall of the community. People and vehicles are divided, and there is a bus stop every distance. There are also street trees beside the sidewalk. People walking under the tree can avoid the direct sunlight, which should be very comfortable. But when I observed, I found that there were few pedestrians and the streets were quiet during the day. At night, even under enough lighting, there are few pedestrians. You will find that plants not only provide shade for people, but also block the view of the residents who live on the second floors or third floor, which will make people feel that the environment is not safe. People are uneasy about the environment. Even though the road is full of CCTV, still does not reassure people. So there are very few cyclists. In addition, the wall of the community effectively protects the wall of the residents, but is a rejection for pedestrians. There is no storefront facing the street, and there is no more line of sight to enter the street. People have no sense of security. Even if people living in the community, when they walk through such a street, they will choose a private car to travel. In addition to meeting the needs of travel, they feel it's safer. When I turn to another side of the street, there are more storefronts on the sign. I see more people passing by, even if they don't need to buy at the same time. The straight street with the feeling of no end in sight makes people feel that the distance is longer than the actual distance. The landscape of the streets is boring and lacks the fun of walking. In the construction of new districts in Dongguan, such design can be found everywhere. The old residential area of Yayuan was changed from the origin site of the traditional villages in the farming era. The original house had only 1 floor, and the houses were closely arranged. They hide in the shadow of another house such as possible to avoid excessive solar radiation in order to obtain a cooler environment. When people rebuild the house on the original homestead, in order to live in more people, raise the house in even up to 3 floors, so that the ground floors absolutely no light. The balconies are also protrude as much as possible, so that the balconies of the house are close to the balconies, and people can shake hands on the balconies. Due to the imperfection of public transportation, most people choose to travel by private car. All the traditional villages in Dongguan basically have a common drawback. That is a zero lack of parking space, narrow road space. Fire trucks cannot enter, and miss the traffic cause serious potential risk factors. Therefore, they built several residential buildings in the area north of Huancheng Road and let everyone live in the new building. In an attempt to rent these old villages to low-income laborers at a low price, we can predict that if this is the case, a lot of criminal behavior will be derived. Is the old villages not attractive at all? In another district, Wanjiang, this is also an area where its original site of the traditional villages was rebuilt. The private residents here were rented by different business and developer into bars, special restaurants, handicraft experiment stores, attracting a large number of young people to come and spend. This area has become a characteristic business card of Dongguan City. The most special thing here is that it's not a business district with a government planned itinerary, but development naturally. The first milk tea shop was founded by a designer. He did not modify the environment too much. He inherited the context of the science and evoked people's memory of the science. People from other areas flocked to it after knowing its existence through the internet, and within a short time, other stores followed suit. Without a unified planning of the government and the unified development of the developers, the designer of each store followed the same principle and tried to reflect the original site memory as much as possible, so that people can relate on the space. I had to think about that. I had to think about what kind of public engagement would produce a best result. The old villages of Yayuan also has the spirit of the sign. The texture ancestral hall courtyard of the villages contain too many people's memories. This environment carries people's sense of belonging and domain. As long as they live here, it's not easy for outsiders to invade and occupy. Good neighborhood relationships are also effective in deterring crime. I think they should not abandon this place. Under the guidance of the government and public participation in the transformation, the villager will surely be revived. Located in the industrial park of the new district, it was built in 2000 years. It's an industrial park with unified planning. It has a straight motorway that conforms to the running of track. The building facades and architectural font remained unchanged, full of industrial flavors. Is efficient, but it ignores the feeling of people in the space. It can only carry the necessary activities of the society. Such areas have clear boundaries. and physical characteristics and have no comprehensive function. Non-workers generally do not enter such areas. This is also one of the factors for the future decline of industrial areas. In contrast to the Wangjiang District Industrial Park in the 1970s, Jianyuzhou has industrial buildings of different age and various forms. The road between the buildings is not only wide, but also create a certain open space for trucks to store and store goods. The text of the road is flawed. Such areas were not planned in a unified way, but were gradually formed as need. It has also declined, but has not been renovated by the government and turned into an office park. The variety of space provides the possibility for a variety of activities. We see places where goods used to be stored now become a gathering space. The right street has been transformed into an art block and a wooden track and a building platform have been added to the river to provide a place for exercise and days. The complex function may regenerate commercial and social value. Conclusion: regardless of residential area or industrial park, we pay attention to the value of human in the environment, and all environmental problems are solved, including security, vitality, emotion, business development, and so on. Okay, that's all. Thank you.